If I could describe the Get My Life tour in one word, it would be vulnerability. Showing up for yourself is so important. Welcome to the Get My Life tour. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Get My Life tour. It is me, your host, Lydia T. Blanco, and as always, I'm so hyped that you are here. Thank you for taking center stage in your life and for showing up. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the Get My Life tour. This tour is honestly about you getting through and you showing up for yourself and taking center stage in your life. As selfish as that may sound, it's actually meant to be about you being more about self, but not only about self. And that's why we're on tour together. If this is your umpteenth time tuning in, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. Your support is unmatched. Look, I have been racking my mind all week about what it was that I was going to bring center stage. I'm like, And then some things happened. And then, you know what I'm saying, last weekend I was standing literally on a cliff speaking into the atmosphere in hopes to shift it and manifest and bring forth things that I am so wanting. Like, I don't even know if that was like the proper way to say it, but things that I really desire, my heart's desire, I was out here trying to manifest, okay? And then you know what? By Thursday, look, in the words of Nipsey Hussle, I spoke some things into the universe and they appeared. So that's what I want to talk to you about this time around. Right on this stop of the tour, I want to talk about asking and receiving. Now, some of you all are familiar with my work as a professional, as, you know what I'm saying, I show up and it is to tell stories, right? I'm a journalist by trade, and asking questions is what I do, okay? I ask questions. I ask research-backed questions, based questions. I just love asking questions, and I value being asked good questions. I feel like that's one of the ways that, of course, we get to know each other, but it also shows that we care, right? When we're in tune with ourselves, with the Most High, in our environment, it allows us, it positions us to ask better questions. And I think we care a bit more, right? To ask quality questions, especially when we're curious and when we want to get the answers to whatever it is that we want to know. But I think there's so much value in it, right? And then I always say here on the Get My Life tour that, you know, while we are here and showing up for ourselves and one another, we are getting the answers to the questions that life poses that we don't often, you know, anticipate or aren't prepared for. So I was standing on this cliff last weekend. Take it back all the way to Easter Sunday. But I was standing on a cliff, and I legit was just like, okay, God, I surrender. I want more of what you have for me and more of what I want, honestly, right? More for more. And so I was speaking, I was asking for, my heart to be softened, but also for it to be content with letting go and releasing, right? Because that's such a process. And some things are so abrupt that you can't pray for. But when you kind of anticipate something is about to happen or you feel the shift, you're like, okay, hold on. Or at least I am. I'm like, okay, Most High, help me to let go. Help me to release. And it happened. It absolutely happened. And not just that, series of events, but a few other things that happened really inspired me to take center stage and speak about that this week, right? The Bible, says and it reminds us to ask and you shall receive. And I don't think that I don't know if we really honor how much weight that carries. I'm always just like, okay, look, I want to speak some things into the universe and they appear, and I want to be in tune and aligned, and I want things to happen, right? But as a believer and as someone who believes in, the power of all that the Most High has created, I believe in manifesting as well, right? And I know sometimes people are like, oh, you can't do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool, that's what you think, cool. Let me know how that works for you. I really don't want to know, so don't tell me, but don't tell me what to do either. So as we speak, right, our words carry weight. And I believe that our words that we form when we're asking questions hold just as much weight. And I believe that is what, you know what I'm saying? Scripture is telling us, asking you shall receive, right? You have to have a heart and belief and be in alignment. And I believe those things to be true as well as when you are manifesting. So, Matthew 7:7, keep on asking and you will receive, what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you. How promising, right? I really appreciate that promise, that reminder, that affirmation. In addition to that word, I honestly think that it is our duty to knock down some doors and to not be afraid of what it is that we are asking for. When I was asking to be content and to be positioned in a way that I could receive releasing what I needed to release, I had to do so courageously. And I couldn't be fearful of what it was that I was asking for. Is it hard? Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I have to let go. Oh my God, no. But I couldn't be afraid, So that's what I want to offer to you, honestly, is my first point. Don't be afraid of what you are asking for. And if you are a bit fearful, ask anyways. You don't know until you ask. There are a whole bunch of people who talk about doing things afraid. I want to offer ask afraid if that's what you have to do. But also know that you do not have to be fearful when asking. That's not a prerequisite, right? I think sometimes we think we have to humble ourselves and present a certain way when we are in need. But there is this, I want to say, a natural born right? A natural spiritual right as well for us to ask freely and boldly just because of who we are, right? And I hope that offers you a new perspective. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. If not, I hope that's helpful. Okay. And the other thing that I'd like to add is that it is essential to take your time when asking. I think the other part of that is know what you are asking for. Be clear in your request, right? Because sometimes we have an idea of what we want, but we don't know what it is that we're really asking for. Somebody's like beating around the bush. I don't think it's necessary to tiptoe when you're manifesting, when you are asking the Most High to make it known, right? Or to bring into existence what is already known that you want, right? So be clear. Be clear and really have an understanding of what it is that you're asking for. The other thing that comes to mind, and it was something that I really had to be mindful of because I love words and being poetic is just so, it's just everything to me. I'm like, that was so romantic. It was so poetic. But sometimes you just got to get to the point. The other thing is, and this is what the actual point is as I talk about getting to the point, right? And that is being mindful of how you form your words. Now, I'm not trying to get on somebody and tell you to have a script and this is how you should say something, but I think it goes back to being clear, right? There is a certain way that we should ask, and I think that is powerful when we're mindful of how it is that we are using our words and forming our requests, right? I don't think that's a prerequisite, but honestly, it is something that is helpful, right? Is to me as intentional about how you pray, right? I think sometimes people try to be very particular, or they think there has to be a certain structure or cadence or this or that, so many different styles, right? But what I think is helpful, honestly, is being mindful of what you speak and how you speak it, right? Power lies, what the power of death and life lies in our tongue. And you know, what's coming to my mind is this joke my dad used to tell all the time. And it was about some dudes who had their last wish and they found a genie or something like that. I don't know. Like, I ain't trying to bring genies all up in this, but what I'm trying to get to you, get to the, you know, what I'm trying to say as I trip over my words, hello, stick with me. Thank you for being here, is that you have to be mindful. Like, the joke was something like, the guy couldn't remember what his wish was, or he couldn't think of it fast enough. And he said, shh, like ish. And so that's what he got. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now I know that is not how manifesting and speaking life and things into existence works, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Like a story to, you know, make a point. And I hope that I made my point, right? Be mindful, be clear, be intentional, and really take your time when manifesting, when asking, when forming your questions, when speaking things into life. I'm not saying write things down. I think that can work for some people, but I think it's also good to just take the time you need to be clear about what it is that you want and as you speak it. Let me know if that was helpful, okay? But if it wasn't and I need to make something else clear, I'm willing to do that too, okay? Because we are in community, and I don't say anything with this attitude of knowing it all. But after the experience I had this week, and I had several, I was like, okay, Lydia, you need to be mindful, right? Because here's the other thing. Oftentimes, and without even realizing it, a lot of us speak what it is that we don't want, and that's what we attract, okay? And the law of attraction is real. Look, I don't know if you've been there, but I definitely am, and because I am, and you know, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I definitely brought that on myself, right? Just as powerful as what we think is as powerful as what we say. And I think I said that wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? All right, cool. But no, honestly, in all seriousness, we have to be mindful of what it is that we're saying, all of it. You can get a whole bunch of what you don't want, just like you can get an abundance of what it is that you do. But we have to be mindful of what it is that we are putting out there, because something is going to come back. Are you going to want it? Maybe, maybe not. But you have to be accountable and, you know what I'm saying, have one of those moments when you're like, oh man, that was on me. Okay. Everything happens for a reason. I will say that there was a pastor on the radio who was like, there's nowhere in the Bible that says everything happens for a reason. I was like, you're right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, look, don't leave it to me to interpret anything. Okay. Okay, cool. So I do have some tips that I have found, and it was a really good article, and I wanted to share it with you all because I don't know everything. Plug right now, my sister actually has a course, Stop Obsessing and Start Manifesting, and you can find that on her website, risewhereyouare.com, or you can go to ashleyandblanco.com. I think it's important to spread love and connect you all with individuals who are doing the work and who can, you know, help you along your journeys, because like I said, I don't know everything, and I love partnering with incredible people. And you know what I'm saying? You heard that she's a Blanco, so she's pretty incredible. She was also a guest here on the Get My Life tour in the first season. So plug. Side note, always put your family on. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm pulling up this article now, and it is from a blog, mindvalley.com, right? So they had 8 steps on how to manifest what you want. The first step was, or is, believe in yourself. Step number 2, create an action plan. 3, take action. 4, focus on the positive. We have a million thoughts a day, and I can't tally how many of them are positive and how many of them are negative. You know your thoughts. I don't, but I know mine. I just have to speak life all the time. Okay. And not that I'm a negative person, but I think at times that's one of the hardest things, right? We say what we want and then we act against it. We think against it. And then that's what shows up, because we're not being positive. We're so focused on the negative. Okay. So let me get into the 5th point. Visualize. Visualization is so important. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, or however many you need to take, and imagine experiencing all of the fullness you want to experience, right? Just like we have the power to speak, being able to envision and visualize what it is that you want brings those things closer. You know, the other thing I'll say is that as someone who believes, I believe that, you know, we have these experiences where we get peeps into certain lifestyles or ears in certain conversations, and it's on purpose. So pay attention to those moments and visualize. Okay, let me get into the 6th point. Stay humble and grateful. I like that. I appreciate that point a lot. What I will add to that, because this is the Get My Life tour, and you know, I can take some information and also make it mine, right? Or add my twist to it. Plagiarism is a thing. I'm not here for it. But what I will add to this is that be mindful of how humble you are. I will never forget when I was told humility mastered is pride. And a lot of us struggle with that. A lot of us who claim to believe, because we're like, oh, okay, you know, we're doing this thing where we got our prayer hands, and we're bowing out respectfully all the time, or we're overthanking people for things they have nothing to do with, because we want to, you know, come off as super grateful and this and that. And then we don't realize we're not elevating. We're not moving and pushing past our pains and certain thresholds because we're a bit too humble. You know what I'm saying? I did an entire stop on this tour dedicated to helping us remind ourselves of who we are and letting other people know who we are too, right? So yes, stay humble and grateful. Always practice gratitude, but be mindful of who you are thanking and how humble you are, and that your humility does not become pride mastered. Okay. So, point number 7, as outlined by Mind Valley, is upgrade your beliefs. You know, when I read that, I was like, I appreciate them not pushing any kind of religion on people. That's not what we're doing. I know I opened up with scripture, but what you believe is what you believe. Your experiences are your experiences, and how you engage with spirit, divine, most high, or nothing at all, if that's your lifestyle and how you get down, you know what I'm saying, is your business. What I will say is, this goes back to believing in yourself, but I would say trust others, learn to trust. I believe we all have experiences with people who are so tight-lipped about what it is that they're doing and who they're connected to or what their heart desires are. And they are not where they want to be because they are so secretive. And there's a difference between being secretive and private. And honestly, those people are where they are, right? And they can't push past certain things and won't elevate and really build with others because they have no trust in others. And you know what I'm saying? That's just not where it's at. So, that's what I really want to leave you with. And I hope that this has been helpful, right? So what I'm going to do is just read all the points out again without inserting myself. And the first one is to believe in yourself, right? 2, create an action plan. The third point is take action. Number 4 on the list is focus on the positive. Visualize. At number 5, stay humble and grateful is the 6th point. 7, upgrade your beliefs. And 8, become a conscious creator. We are more powerful than we think, than we believe at times. And there's nothing wrong with asking for what it is that you want. There's something so powerful about speaking life, speaking things into existence, and manifesting, right? We have that God-given authority and power. And yeah, I'll say it. I feel like it's irresponsible to not use it, right? A lot of us want to be somewhere. We see ourselves there and we're willing to do the work, clocking in, networking, being in certain rooms, rubbing elbows, right? But we don't think that it's just as powerful to speak it, to see it, to partner with others, to attain it. Look, that's what we have the authority to do. And that's what I want to encourage you to continue to do or, pursue for the first time. There have been so many things that I have spoken into life, and there have been so many things that I realize have manifested. And it's because I said what I didn't want. I'm like, oh, right. So I encourage you to be mindful, intentional, prayerful, hopeful. Okay. And really adopt this way of living if you see it beneficial to you. Because you deserve the best. You deserve your heart's desires. And I really believe that it is our duty to take action in that way. Right? One of my favorite Nipsey lines, right? Evidence of a divine presence. Right? When you see yourself as divine, I believe there's nothing that you cannot do or achieve. So as I'm thinking about my mic drop moment, a word that came to me years ago from divine is coming back to me, and it is be mature enough to receive what it is that you're asking for. Look, there have been so many things that I've prayed for, that I've spoken into life and have asked the Most High for. And there were moments when I've gotten them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like not now, not right now, right? But you never know when it is that you are going to get the very thing that you've been asking, hoping, praying, or speaking into existence. If that's release, if that's increase, if it's ease, whatever it is, be mature enough and position yourself to be ready. You know what I'm saying? I love Diddy's line about staying ready so that you don't have to get ready. But really position yourself as if you already have that thing. Maybe that's how I should say it, right? Let me leave Diddy out of this. Position yourself to receive whatever it is that you are asking for so that you can maximize, right? Or so that you can enjoy, you can experience, you can be present in the moment when you are blessed with what it is that you've been asking for. Y'all, I really wanted to take center stage and share this with you all. And I hope that you have gotten at least an inkling of, you know what I'm saying, what you need or more. As always, to stay connected here on the Get My Life Tour, be sure to visit thegetmylifetour.com, subscribe to the newsletter, check out the merchandise. The t-shirts are still available. And you can stay connected with the Get My Life Tour on all social platforms at the Get My Life Tour, Twitter at Get My Life Tour, and join the Facebook group, the Get My Life Tour Backstage. To stay connected with me, be sure to visit my website, lydiatblanco.com, or stay connected on social media at Lydia T Blanco on all platforms. And look, I really hope that you got what you needed on this stop of the tour. I'm a little bit more chill and relaxed. And I can't wait to see you on the next stop. It is going to be good. Look, I really hope that you have been enjoying this season, because I have. And as I prepare for each stop on the tour, I just am so filled with love and joy. And I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So thank you for tuning in. And from all of the places that you're tuned in from. My gosh, okay? Look, I won't be long. I won't belabor you. But until the next time, continue to live, love, serve, and be yourself. Peace.